Hello there, everyone. TheAndrata here, and welcome back to episode 103 of our Enigmatica 6 Let's Play series. Where today I have some crafts kicked off here, which are going to be used for our turbine, so we can continue working towards our fission reactor. So I got the copy paste and everything and decided to make everything ahead of time so that way you guys didn't have to sit here and wait and watch autocrafts take place. So yeah, let's see. So we need 3 electromagnetic coils. We're going to need some pressure dispersers, 8 of those. Rotational complex. We're going to need saturating condensers, 6 of those. Structural glass. We're going to need 58 of these. Okay. We're going to need turbine casings. A total of 69 of these. We have 32. I wonder where the rest are. So what is that? 37 that we need? Okay. So that's turbine casings. We'll wait for the rest of those to kick off. We need rotors. We needed 5 of those. And then valves. Turbine valves is 2. Vents is 33. And then the casings is the only thing we're waiting on. And there we go. Turbine casings. Okay. And we're also going to need the blades. The copy and paste gadget cannot copy the blades. So we're going to need a total of 10 because I think it's 2 per rotor. We made 5 rotors. That should be correct. Let's see what this is hung up on. Yeah, it's for some reason these crafts aren't finishing. Like they show up here, but and they're done. It made the pressure dispersers. It made all the casings that we needed. It made the rotors. They're getting stuck for some reason. And I don't know why. But we're almost done with our turbine blades. And there we go, turbine blades. And that should be all of the quests for this. Yes, bam, epic mechanism loot box. And then our next step would be to create a thermoelectric boiler, which cools sodium and then recycles it. But I don't know necessarily if we need that. So, yeah. Anyway, let's head back out to our reactor and apparently get ready to take a nap because it's nighttime. Oh, also, one thing when you are building a nuclear reactor, make sure you build your nuclear reactor within a chunk. I had it split between these 2 chunks here. So I had to tear this down and rebuild it. And in the process, it caused me to lose all the fissile fuel that was in here because I tore the entire thing down and moved it. So all the fissile fuel was gone. So be smart, work smarter, not harder. Build inside of a chunk instead of 2 chunks. I also looked up how to set up the fail-safe or the circuit breaker that it mentions. So let's see how to do this. Okay, so this is off of the wiki specifically for mechanism. So it says the bottom fission reactor is set to emit a redstone signal on high temperature. Okay, so you are going to submit a signal on high temperature. Cool. The top one is going to be set to activation. Okay. This will activate the reactor when it receives a redstone signal and deactivate it whenever the signal switches off. The piston is a regular piston with a sand or gravel block on top. Oh, okay, I see how this works. Okay, so we just need like a building block. Like, oh, I'm in bag mode. What do we got? Something that'll look decent here. I wish I had sandstone. I have sand in here, right? Sandstone. Make me a sandstone. Just one. That's all I need right now. Okay, so we have a sandstone. Let's get a redstone torch. And then a piece of redstone. So we're going to set this up to be like this. Bam. So we got the redstone dust. We're going to put the torch on the side. So it's a NOT gate, essentially. And then we're going to set up a... Where did my dank go? Back over here. You can go there. We're going to set the piston that it gave us. And we can use like a piece of sand. Set of gravel. We're building this out in the desert. It only makes sense to build a nuclear reactor out in the desert, right? I mean, come on. What do you think Nevada's for? Okay, so there's that. Let's not make a giant mess. Get a piece of sand on top. And then we need the observer that it gave us. Here. Facing the correct direction. Please observe. It's because I have to hold shift, so let's stand on this. Buddy, if you don't face the correct direction, I swear. I don't know, because it eats the right click when you want to place it normally. Yeah, we'd have to push this into place using a piston, which is annoying. Captain, I swear. Oh my goodness, now you're facing that way. Buddy, if you do not face the proper direction, you are going to get, oh my goodness. What if I put like a piece of, not sand, nope. What if I face you here? Oh my God, what way are you even facing? You're still facing absolutely the wrong direction. I swear. This is the worst part. I'm telling you right now. This guy will not face any direction other than the one that I want him to. Place the block. See, look, he's facing that way. I need to rotate him. Can you use a wrench to rotate this guy? Like, rotate. Oh, you can. Oh, that's... All right, well. Should have tried that in the first place, yeah? Would have solved all my problems. Oh, there we go. Okay, so in theory, what's going to happen is this is going to kick off, bam. When this gets to high temperature, it's going to hit this redstone, which is going to trigger this, which is going to trigger this. It's going to pop that up, which this guy's going to see. He's going to emit a redstone signal, shut the thing off. Does that make sense? The only way to test it would be to actually test it, and I do not feel like testing it, and then blowing up and irradiating this entire area. So, yeah, we're going to have to test it and pray that it works live, right? Right. Okay. Build our turbine. Nice. It is a valid structure, but it's not because there are no blades. That is our limiting factor, is our blades. So let's pop inside of here and get our turbine blades set up. The nice thing is you can just right click on the bottom one and it will fill up all of the spaces for you. So you don't have to, you know, climb up there and try and get it all organized properly and annoyingly and all that stuff. Sorry. Anyway, so there's that. Okay, so reactor, turbine. Pretty simple setup here. So what we're going to do is change our ports here. Also need to remember to claim these chunks. So this is going to be a output of coolant, okay? And you can stay as an input. What we're going to do is take a mechanical pipe off of a vent, okay? The water gets pulled out of a vent. Just keep that in mind. You do not need a valve for the output of water. So we'll set that to pull. So the water is going to come from the turbine casing, or the turbine back into here. So it's a closed loop. Again, remember. And then we need to set a pressurized tube here to move the steam out of this guy into the turbine. And then lastly, this is where our power is going to come from. So we need a plug. So let's go ahead and pop this bad boy here. And that is going to be on the generators network. And this is going to be our fission turbine. Disable the limit. And folks, in theory, this should be everything we need. My heart is racing. Just saying. Legitimately. Messing with fusion is always entertaining. Because, well, I gotta blow all this up. And this is a nice setup we have here. Probably shouldn't have done it in this exact area. Probably should have moved it like across the river or something like that. That way I didn't worry about blowing all this stuff that we have set up here because I don't remember how to do it. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. This is it. Are you ready? Everybody say a quick prayer. If you're the praying type. If not, just hope. Because here we go. Activate. That is a very loud sound. Okay, so look, we have spinning. I need to turn that down. That is extremely loud. Out of all the machines, this is probably the loudest one so far. Like, I like the sound of it. I just don't like it being that loud. Okay. Okay. It's on. We're generating steam. We are maintaining our temperature and our coolant, and our heating rate is at 4,000 millibuckets. Keep in mind, this has a max burn rate of 30 millibuckets a tick, and we are running it at 0.1 right now. But it's on. We're generating 2.75 thousand RF right now, by the way. Even just this little bit is generating more RF than like our solar reactors or our wind generators did, period. But yeah, that is a fission reactor. And we are going to be producing nuclear waste. So if we come over here and look in here, look, 43 millibuckets of nuclear waste that we're going to end up needing to process at some point. But yeah, let's kickstart this reactor, right? Because this, I mean, it's cool, but it ain't super cool. So let's bump this up. So let's just go bump it up to 10 millibuckets a tick. How are we doing? Temperature is being maintained. Coolant is good. Fuel tank is good. Look at that now. Yeah, now he's spinning up. Now we're getting somewhere. And we're probably creating a bunch of radioactive waste that we're gonna need to take care of at some point. Okay, do you think we could, you think we can go higher? Here's our steam. We're now generating 285,000 RF a tick. Yep. Steam is stabilized here. We're getting power. We're doing good. Let's bump up to 20 millibuckets. Let's see what happens. Okay, and boop. Scrammed. We were not able to keep up with our coolant. Interesting. It should have been able to. Our failsafe worked though. If you didn't see, it shut off. 20 millibuckets a tick is obviously not enough. Now theoretically, this should only need one pipe coming out of here. One pipe should be able to maintain this with our coolant. So what happened there? I'm not 100%, but we'll slowly ramp back up then. Let's jump to 15 millibuckets per tick instead. Let's also take a nap. But I'm very glad that we set up this failsafe here. It did work. It's a little bit slow because it has to kick that up, but it's better than nothing, and we took no damage onto our reactor, so yeah, it's not the worst. So I'm not going to complain. All right, let's turn it back on. This is at 15 millibuckets a tick burn rate. I think what happened is, oh no, we're running out of coolant again. There it goes. And it shut off. So we're not able to output as much coolant as we need to. What if we set up more mechanical pipes? I mean, from my understanding, you don't need to set up like multiple of these, but maybe we do. Let's read the guide. Doesn't produce useful energy on its own. Rather, steam generates. The turbine itself is a complex multi-block. Reactor will automatically output steam from a coolant output port. The steam must be passed into one of the turbine ports via pressurized tubes and water, then automatically outputs from any of the vents at the top. Power can then be injected from another. If the turbine's power buffer fills up, it will stop running. Steam and water flow will halt, and the attached reactor's heat will rapidly rise. Yeah, like I said, I don't believe this is necessary to do. It should be a closed loop, and it was at 10 millibuckets. Because theoretically, this should be able to, you know, have steam up to the max before it has issues. Let's see what happens when we have 3 of those. Activate. Yep. It's unable to maintain its coolant. And that's even with us pumping extra coolant into this, by the way. So we are stable at 10. Correct? Yes, 10 is stable. What about 11? Okay. 12. 13. How are you doing over here? And then 14. Are we stable? No. Let's go back down to 13. Oh, and we still have a net loss. Okay, so let's go back to 12. And now we have a net gain again. What is our limiting factor here is the question. So 13 was stable earlier. I mean, as of right now, nope, look, we're losing very, very slowly. But we are unable to maintain our water at 13 millibuckets a tick. Theoretically, this thing should be able to maintain 30 and 30. From what I understand from reading in the wiki, but I guess not. Well, we're still generating 340,000 RF a tick, by the way, which is ridiculous. Let's go ahead and dump excess power, by the way, just in case for some reason this fills up and our 1.2 trillion back in base fills up. And yeah, so this guy is probably getting full. So we need to start working on producing or taking care of that. Yeah, but we're maintaining. We're keeping up with fissile fuel. And this is maintaining at 11, so maybe the only thing would be a bigger reactor or a bigger turbine. Interesting. Max water output, 384,000 millibuckets a tick. Oh, are we dropping again? No, just visual bug. Okay. All right, well, we have a reactor, and we have it turned on, we have it running and producing both power and nuclear waste. So yeah, we did the thing. This isn't bad. Now you can always ramp up. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off because what we don't want is to fill up on waste. You can get up to, I think, like a 17 by 17 on both the fission reactor and the turbine, which is just ridiculously large numbers, by the way. And you'll be able to generate, I mean, you're going to generate tons of power and you're going to generate tons of nuclear waste to run the SPS, the supercritical phase shifter. So you can create antimatter because antimatter is used for a lot of stuff. Antimatter. Yeah, antimatter can do a lot of things. You can turn wool into quartz. You can immediately charge a infinity item to full in this pack at least, there's a recipe for that. Requires 10 buckets of antimatter. That is a lot of antimatter. If you look at this is 2 millibuckets to convert wool into quartz. This is 10,000 millibuckets, so it's a very large number. You can convert wool into redstone, tin into iron, diamonds to emeralds, coal to diamonds is pretty cool. But yeah, it's basically, you know, magic stuff that you can do with this. These pellets are also used for certain crafting recipes in Mechanism, such as, like, this is the creative flight module for your armor, your Mechanism armor, and then like a teleportation and things like that. So yeah, anyway, that's antimatter. We really don't need to get into antimatter in this because there's none of that stuff that we really want to use at all. Our goal is the polonium, so we can get a fusion reactor going, and yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So fusion reactor is going to require us, in order to process this nuclear waste, because that is our next step, right? Nuclear waste. In order for us to process this stuff, we need to get either an isotopic centrifuge, which we already have, but that's going to make plutonium. We need a solar neutron activator in order to get polonium, because in order to get the fusion reactor casings, or frames, we need polonium pellets, right? Which come from the solar neutron activator, and then they get processed in a pressurized reaction chamber with just some water. Polonium makes a polonium pellet. Bam. Okay. And then you get spent nuclear waste. Now this is nasty stuff. You cannot do anything with this. It has no usage. It's created by processing plutonium or polonium, and you literally can't do anything with it. It will decay over time, but like that's why we kind of built close to the water, because I'm just going to put a bunch of radioactive barrels down here and just dump it straight into a river, because that's what you do with nuclear waste, correct? I mean, that seems to be what the world does with it. So IRL don't recommend it for sure. This is Minecraft. These fish will be fine. They'll be fine. And it will decay over time, a very long time. But yeah, just something to keep in mind. But in order to get to the solar neutron activator, we need to get into HDPE, which means we need to get into liquid ethylene. So let's go back to our base and see what we need to get going for that. It's going to go into our processing room up here. So we can just, you know, go ahead and pop into here. And we can have this set up along this side of the wall. So solar neutron activator needs HDPE sheets. HDPE sheets come from an enrichment chamber of a pellet. Gets basically flattened into a sheet. I don't know why it's on a crusher. A multi-servo press makes sense, like thematically. It's going to press it into a sheet, but whatever. HDPE pellets are going to come from liquid ethylene and oxygen, as well as substrate. Substrate is going to come from the same process as ethylene into biofuel, right? So what we're going to need is water and hydrogen, and a biofuel is going to make us a substrate. So we need you guessed it, electrolytic separator. So let's get that. Electrolytic separator. I don't know why I did that, because I do not have it on AutoCraft, but I do have all the requisite parts on AutoCraft. So let's wait for that to cook up. And yeah, let's get this started. Okay, so electrolytic separator. Let's just go ahead and pop this bad boy. Let's clear out our inventory a little bit. We're going to pop this bad boy down here. And really, I should have, like, you know, put it down first, and then I could break the block below it, so that way it's in place. We're going to need water to get pumped into this. And what do we need for this? Ethylene. We need the hydrogen out of this. So we need hydrogen to go into a pressurized reaction chamber, which is this guy. Okay, so let's get the pressurized reaction chamber as well. That's you. Control click, please. Come on. Come on. It's the steel that holds us up. That was an enrichment chamber, and then we need all of this stuff. We made that. Just waiting on another piece of steel. And there's a pressurized reaction chamber. Cool. Bam. And you are going to have all of your outputs disabled, inputs disabled. I don't want anything. You are going to also have all of your outputs disabled. Just for now, okay? So the pressurized reaction chamber is going to be used to create the ethylene, correct? Go here, here. Yes. So you are going to create ethylene and substrate. So we're going to need items in and we're going to need items out. So, and we need, oh man, does that say we need water into substrate? Bookmark that. Yeah, we need water, hydrogen, and biofuel. Okay. Water. Oh man, this machine needs a lot of like faces to be used, doesn't it? The hydrogen is going to come from here, so that's not that big of a deal. And we're going to have water being pumped into this guy from a exporter. And I guess, the hydrogen is going to come here. We're going to need water, and there's the hydrogen. We're going to need an input and an output. I guess water can come in the back of this too. Okay. So we'll have water come into the back of both of these machines. So let's get an exporter. 2 of them. And again, we have infinite water coming into our refined storage system, so I am not concerned. And let's get stack upgrades, I guess, for both of these. Keep up with the water. What would it take to make a cloche from? More work than I want to deal with. Okay. We have like potatoes, right? A couple thousand. I think we're okay. If we want to, we can go to our farm over there in our old base and set it up just to be completely potatoes for this process. Let's go and run our cables over here. Do I have cables on me? I do not. Cable. Bam and bam. Hooked both of them up? Yes, okay. And then we just need a bucket of water. Go ahead and import water. Or export water, I mean. And you export, no, not buckets. Give me my water back, please. First off, clear that. And then you go there. You're going to export water as well. Okay, so you have your water coming in. Let's get stack upgrades for both of those. They can put a stack of water in at a time. And you have your water coming in. Okay, cool. All right, so that is the water that we need. Oops. To come into those. And that is the start for this episode. So next episode, we're going to continue on. We'll get the ethylene set up and then get the HDPE sheets going. And then we can start turning our nuclear waste into polonium. So yeah, anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it, and it really does help out the channel. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good one.